Okay, hi, my name is Madeline Mongaro, and I'm going to be presenting how I think the world will be in 10 years, or the US, I should say. So economically, the current economic climate has raised substantial concerns with me. Our economy is currently like grappling with the challenges that hint the potential downturn of us. And it's no surprise that China is the one that we are kind of fearful of that from. So I do not think that economically we are going to be as powerful. Um, and no matter how many wars we involve ourselves in, I don't think it's going to help. Um, China's ascendancy on the global economic stage is undeniable in terms of their process and technological advancements. We have a huge part in that too because we are constantly outsourcing work to them, um, just because it is cheaper uh, for us. By us, I mean big corporations are making it cheaper for themselves to make more of a profit. Um, Something to note too is that China knows this is happening and they are bringing in fentanyl into the United States currently and have been for the past years and years. Um, and it's ultimately setting us up for failure, of course. So that's just something to think about. Again, economically, I think that the central bank digital currency is going to be a huge thing. It's already been implemented in the Fed Reserve, um, and banks are having their own um, experiments. The Fed or has already had experiments going on to see how it would work. So CBDC stands for the central bank currency, and it's a phenomenon that holds the promise in reshaping a new financial landscape for us. It is basically when banks want to go completely digital. 80% of the central banks are already considering CBDC to have or have already launched one, according to PwC. Financial institutions will either turn to raising funds in capital markets at a greater risk or expense, or raising rates on deposit accounts in a bid to win back lost funds at a greater expense. Either way, these would likely translate into higher costs of loans for people looking to get a home, a car, or even emergency funds. So everything is just going to get even harder. It's already hard enough to get a house right now. So, um, yeah, so it's going to be a big downfall. This also raises concerns of privacy and freedom. We already saw through COVID and the lockdowns that we were being limited on what we could do, and they were limiting what we could buy in some places. Of course, this was on a smaller scale, like toilet paper and water, because everyone was freaking out about this, but they have the power to do that. So it's really shouldn't be a big surprise that they're going to go straight for our money technically. So basically, it's raising implications for enhanced control. It's just another way for us to be controlled by the government. I believe, most notably, the Federal Reserve. The CBDC can track all your transactions. The government, of course, is watching this. You're not going to have privacy. You could possibly be paused from your funds or frozen, basically from using it. You're going to be tracked, um, blacklisted from renting, leasing, or buying. Um, Many argue that the CBDC is a good thing because I myself can see why it could be a good thing, such as like criminals and tracking down that history. But for the rest of us people, it becomes as an injustice, I think. And I express reservations towards it. because it's my individual privacy and autonomy. So basically, very scary stuff. Um, Financially, or simultaneously, uh, there's a rapid decline in the US dollar as well. So I don't think that, I think currently right now the US dollar is um, I forgot what word it is, but I'll have to look it up. But basically, we're already scared of using US or physical money, cash. And I think COVID was just another way of putting that in place, um, and making us scared to use money, physical money. Um, so that is something to think about. The movement towards the standardization of digital currency is gaining momentum. The future trajectory of global currencies, oh, that is, we're not going to be the global currency. The US dollar won't be in 10 years. I fully believe that. We are going to have repercussions for international trade, economic policies, and individual financial behaviors. So I think it's important for us to stay informed about these kinds of things because it is going to greatly affect us and our future. Um, Moving on politically, the political landscape already, we are the most divided um, we have ever been as a country. So I think that's something to know. There, of course, is a huge um, concern that this is going to persist, and I think it will, um, unless we get brainwashed into all believing the same thing. Um, a significant factor contributing to this perception is the individuals who gain from us being so divided, which of course are the elites. So I feel like they could have a huge factor in us um, keeping the division throughout our country. Um, so moving on to social, um, I think that our democracy is going to be, it's already threatened as it is. So I think it's going to be worse in the future. What concerns me, though, is the likelihood that influential figures may skillfully shape public opinion to align to their own agendas. So, again, the elites manipulating the narrative to serve their interests. Um, so, moving into, of course, this photo that I have here, um, the rise of AI, artificial intelligence, poses another significant challenge. AI is super powerful, and there's a lot of people who love it and a lot of people who hate it, and good reasons on both sides. Um, I think it's going to bring it personally brings me unease because graduating this next semester, I'm it just poses a threat to everyone's jobs. And it just proves with how powerful it is that it can replace anything. Um, so it's highly advanced, and of course robots come into play with this. So I do think that it's going to keep on advancing and we can't really stop it from doing so. I also think that a lot of people are going to rely too much on it, and everyone's just going to become more unorganic. um, so essentially people are going to become zombies, and people are already um, attached to their technology. Me with my phone and laptop, I'm the same way. So I think it's just going to um, keep going in that way. Um, Also, the media has a huge play into what people believe. So I think that the government is going to be using the media to feed us things. And it's no secret that they've done this um, already. They've already done this in the past. They do it with the war efforts, with COVID, with um, natural disasters. Um, so, yeah, it's going to be super easy for them to implement these things into our minds. And so, yeah, I think there's many evil people in the world, and they only have one motive, and that's money for themselves. And I only see that on the rise. Um, so, with that being said, I do not believe that my views are going to align well with the future in 10 years. Many of my beliefs are already being jeopardized, and will not be as strong in most people too long. So it's dying out, I think. The way that I can modify my goals, I would say, is probably living in an area where most people believe the same things that I do, and hold the same values. So I'm not sure if I'd be living in California anymore. Um, I would uh, probably, hopefully, I do have a family, but um, I would probably not have them in a public education if I have the resources to do so, just because of what is being taught in school. And I'm just not agreeing with that. So, yeah, it's becoming normalized in today's society. Also, I have the picture of the little farm, what looks like a rural area. So I would eventually want to buy land because I think it's the best way I can make use of my money. Um, Hopefully, if I buy enough, I won't feel as affected by everything that's going on in the country. But um, I know that's a very hopeful statement. Um, so, yeah, that is how I see the nation to be in 10 years. Thank you for listening.